So procrastination, learn why we are lagging and how to beat it. And we all have things to do. And I guess like we all experience procrastination. Okay. So I speak from experience. Okay. So, and sometimes, when you really want to hit a target, you really want to meet a deadline. And guess what you would do? You say, oh yeah, guess what? Let's just turn on the computer and let's just sit down. Let's just focus. And guess what you would do next? Oh, let's just pick up the phone and just look at the next message, or let's just look at our favorite YouTube channels. And you know what? I need to check what's in the fridge first. Maybe I'll just cook something. Okay. And then by the time you finish your quick meal, you thought, oh, it's a bit too late. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. That's procrastination. We all know that procrastination can be a bad habit for us, but we still do that. The reason why is that because we know it's a bad habit. We know it's bad because it's bad for you. But it's a habit because a part of you still like it. It's a habit because you still see that as your friend. Some people see that as a coping mechanism. When you still see that as okay, then you are not free from it. So I guess like the goal is that you want to beat it. If you want to get one thing done well, or if you want to be good at doing one thing, why don't you choose beating procrastination as the one thing that you are really good at? Because if you can get it done, if you know how to beat procrastination, you can actually do anything and everything in life. If I can master that, I can do everything else. Right? So what is procrastination? So it's a tendency to delay activities that you need to meet the deadline. Meaning we put off doing things we said we would do, even though we know it's not good for us. Now, in saying that, procrastination is not laziness. Because recently I was talking to a couple of young guys from Epsom, and they said, oh yeah, I'll keep delaying things, I'll procrastinate because I'm lazy. But do you know that lazy has something to do with low on energy and general apathy? Procrastination is just something that you need to do, but you just delay doing it. It's not like you are low on energy. It's not like you are apathetic overall. So procrastination doesn't always mean laziness. Also, sometimes we delay doing things for some genuine, authentic reasons. Perhaps we're planning. Perhaps we are just moving from one task to another task. Perhaps we are reprioritizing what is important to us. Or maybe we are just taking a break. You have to discern that when you procrastinate, do you actually feel overwhelmed? Do you feel stressed out when you think about it? Or do you feel you're so emotional about it? Or you procrastinate because you know you work better under pressure, but your mind is sound. You are okay. I have come across people like that. They're okay. They said, no, I'll just definitely leave it to the last 2 days and I work better under pressure. They can actually get things done. But some people, when they get overwhelmed and they wait for the last 2 days and they still couldn't get it done. And that's not great. Okay. But either way, it's not great because when you procrastinate, that means you cram everything or you wing it. That means you're not actually value learning, because a lot of people, they delay things because they didn't realize that there is so much joy or so much, I guess, like enjoyment or good values in learning. If you naturally love learning, then you will get things done. You don't need people to chase after you. You don't need people to remind you. You just enjoy doing it. So I've got this scripture there. I just want to read. I hope I can find it. Proverbs chapter 6 in verse 6 to 8. It says, take a lesson from the ants, you lazy bones. Learn from their ways and become wise. Though they have no prince or governor or ruler to make them work, yet they labor hard all summer, gathering food for the winter. I mean, you look at ants, basically they're quite self-initiating. No one pushes them, no one reminds them, and they just do it. Learn something from them. I remember one time when I was talking to David as well, he actually said that, meeting deadline is about celebrating learning. So if you really enjoy doing that, so you are actually celebrating what you've learned. So it's a good thing. But when people delay it, basically they forgot the value or the virtue of learning. a lot of people, they were not nurtured into learning as well, because like we tend to, with our Asian households, I think we torture our kids into life instead of nurturing our kids into life. A simple example was when I was young, I think I used to annoy my parents a lot by not understanding what they taught me. I think my mom and dad tried really hard to teach me maths. And I still remember those moments. I couldn't remember a word they said right now, but I still remember the angry faces. They were not happy with me. And but the funny thing was, I understood everything my school teacher taught me. I remember one time, one maths teacher, he actually praised me in front of the class. After that, I just realized actually I had no problem learning, but it's just like I wasn't being nurtured into learning. And then I realized that teaching is good, but when you mix teaching and nurturing together, it's better. Some teachers, they just teach, but you have to add nurturing into it. So when I became a dad, I was teaching our kids maths, and they annoyed the heck out of me because they just couldn't get it, and I got so annoyed. Yeah. We used to do a website thing called Excel, and I used to teach them that. And I remember they got so upset to the point that there were a few times that they were rolling on the floor, crying. Literally, it was really dramatic. They couldn't get it. So they were rolling on the floor, crying like jellyfish. And then I got them up, and then I still remember their faces were red, and it's just like they were crying like this. I got a bit upset, but I didn't show it. But I had to be insistent. But also I learned to be calm. So what I did with them was that I said, look, Max and Brianna, listen, I know it's hard, but if you can understand that, you will actually enjoy going to the class. Or you can be ahead of your class. And they didn't get what I'm saying, but I hope they do now. But it's just like, one day you guys will be handling big numbers. So if you can get this right, you will be able to handle big numbers. But anyway, both of them are really good with maths. Anyway, so with a lot of young adults, where I counsel them and I talk to them, and I found these two things are missing in their lives. It's just like they don't enjoy learning. They were not nurtured into life. So everything is just difficult. So I just want to just leave you with these two things. My thinking process on beating procrastination is that somehow I always have a thing where I believe I can make a decision where if I decide to get it done, I can actually get it done. So I guess this is something that I train myself to believe. It might just take me a second. I might be lying down in bed. But if I don't have that thought, sometimes I'll just go on my computer to browse. But if I can just decide, then my determination and my focus will be there for me. So I'm just sharing some of the steps, the way I think to beat procrastination. So that's number one. And I guess like this is a bit of an expression of faith, because like I really believe things can be done. So it's a bit of faith in me, that I think, yep, I can do that. Number two is that I think I do tend to think about consequences a lot. I like to think about the end goal, the end results, or if I don't do it, what would happen to me? I think this is actually one of the strong points for my own life, is that I like to dwell on that. What happens if I don't do it? So this is like the internal work that I do. The next action point that I will do is that I will start to mentally prepare for myself. I need to think myself clear, and I don't want to wing it. So there are things that I just feel like I don't want. So if I can be so clear about what I don't want, then I can get to what I want. Say if I want to create a post for my laundromat, I think 2 weeks ago I just created the next 4 posts for the next 4 weeks. But before I even do it, I need to have some pictures in my mind. If I don't have those pictures in my mind, I'll be like on Canva, I'll be like on CapCut, doing nothing. It's just like doing absolutely nothing. And I know that when I've come to that point, it's not going to happen. Yeah, so I have to get out. I have to say, I need those pictures in my mind. I need to be able to see it visually before I jump on my keyboards. or if I have to create a message, a training sermon or whatnot, I need to have those 3 steps or 5 steps before I would even allow myself to get onto the screen. So this is how I prep myself. Sometimes, if I say to Helen, I'll get it done today, but if I don't convince myself that it will be done by today, it's not going to happen, even though I said it to her. But I have to be convinced in my mind, within me, to think, heck, I'll get it done today. But if I don't have that, then it's not going to happen. So what about you? I mean, this is like a small example, but what if we have some longer, bigger goals? Like during COVID, I thought to myself, I'll write a book, I'll finish the book, I'll sell the darn book. And that was just the only 3 things that I have, 3 thoughts that I have in my mind. And that happened. So praise the Lord, I sold 400 copies, but that was just like at that time. During COVID, I caught that season. One year, Helen received a word from God about selling the house. So like the whole year, we just thought, no, by Christmas, we will sell the house. Just like that. The following year, we're just saying, no, this year, we're going to get into a business. Just like that. So I guess like you do want to have some bigger goals for the quarter or for the year to think, this is big, I'm going to do it. Right. And then the next thing is just to commit to a a plan. Yeah. There are just so many different ways for you to put your plans down. For me, I use Keep. So I've got thousands and thousands of notes there. So that's my own thing. I know some of you guys do your own paperback journal. That's all good. Would love to hear how you guys do it.
Keep an iPad app for...
Keep is under Google.
Sorry?
Keep is an app under Google.
For writing.
You can put images. You can install images, but they're not like Trello or anything.
But it's mostly for writing notes.
But yeah, mostly just for notes. Yeah. I'll put pretty much like my dreams, my notes, and random thoughts. I'll put everything there. Yeah. So I guess like we need some truthful insights to really help us to focus. What about this? Recognize that the decision may not be as crucial as it feels. Procrastination might be just a feeling or a habit. So I guess things like you want to understand that sometimes you feel like, oh, I can't make a decision. But maybe it's not like you can't make a decision, but it's just like you are just so much into the habit of procrastination that your mind just keeps saying that you can't make a decision, but it's not like you can't, you can. It's just the habit that you are running on right now. So help yourself to separate these things so that you can think yourself clear. I'll just read 2 more and then we can actually get into it. Daily progress. Operate daily by taking small, consistent steps. Small efforts contribute to momentum and progress. What about this? Distractions as barriers. That's good. Recognize that distractions like TV or video games are likely to hinder success than help. Because sometimes we feel like, oh, I just want to watch another video. I want to watch another program. But are they helpful? They're not helpful. I guess things like that, you want to learn to convince yourself, because like you're going to realize that as you get older, if you run your own business or you do your own projects, no one else is going to chase after you. You're going to be a lot more, doing your initiation more than relying on deadlines or other people doing it for you. So I guess like that's my short talk. Are there any immediate thoughts you have?
I've been procrastinating a lot. But I realize I am avoiding certain feelings. Rather than, like, I really want to get stuff done. But with like mainly stuff to do with my own business, it feels like I'm dragging big weight through wet mud, that every step feels so hard that I avoid that feeling and therefore I don't want to get started. So that's what's causing my procrastination. But I bought a liquid chalk marker and I used my big window as a whiteboard.
Nice.
Having this visual goal.
Yes, and then like to-do list for the day. That day I had the list.
Yeah.
I got a lot done,
Yeah.
because after every item I can cross it out or rub it off.
Really good.
It feels good. Yeah, feels good. And then you can break up a big task into smaller steps.
Yes.
So that was helpful. But also, I think the bigger thing is to stop being so self-reliant and this time work with God and truth coach myself out of the futility. Like,
I'm just gonna get tinkly his mouth.
right, okay.
Oh, that's cool, Jim.
Nice.
Doing a lot of work with the windows
Oh,
because by